Hello, everybody, and welcome to your latest Rangers review. I'm going to say transfer special, but the player has signed already, a deadline day signing, and that is Nedim Bajrami, the Albanian midfielder, signing from Sassuolo in Italy. And to get a little bit of an insight into what we can expect to see from him, it brings me great delight to say we're joined by the Albanian football expert, Redian. You may have seen him online on Twitter at AlbFootball. He covers Albanian football in great detail, and he's here to give us a bit of a flavour and a bit of an insight into what we can expect. So, Redian, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and I hope we're going to enjoy some very good Nedim Bajrami moments at the Rangers after a bad performance against Celtic in the Old Firm.
Yeah, we need something to look forward to and to pick us up, and hopefully Nedim can certainly help with that. Just unfortunate he was unable to feature on Sunday. His paperwork wasn't completed in time for him to at least make the bench, but I'm sure he's going to play a big part in this Rangers team moving forward. For the supporters out there that are maybe a bit unfamiliar with him, what can they expect?
Well, I posted a thread on Twitter, on the Twitter handle I also have right here, going in depth about what type of player he is and why this transfer is actually a transfer I'm really looking forward to following. Rangers, in my opinion, are a very good team, and they're a team that dominate 80 to 90% of their games, which is also perfect for a player of his type, who is a number 10, you could easily say. A guy who likes to play on the wing, also like the number 10 in advanced positions. He has played most of his career in Italy. In Italy is a bit different because you have to defend a lot, and he has played at relegation-threatened teams his whole career, which means he doesn't really have the ball that much. Now coming to Rangers, I think he's really going to come into his own. He's going to probably make a name for himself in the western part of Europe, especially in the UK, where a lot of people don't actually know him, even though he is a very qualitative player. What to expect from him in terms of style of play is a guy who's very quick, especially with the ball at his feet. I would even say he's quicker when he has the ball at his feet than when he's just sprinting around the pitch. Technically sound, a leader also, which is something I think Rangers are missing in that midfield. And a guy who generally likes the big games. He lives for those moments.
Yeah, we certainly came to the attention after his record-breaking goal against Italy for Albania at the Euros in the summer. 23 seconds, I think it was. I think the fastest ever goal in the tournament, which was quite incredible. Just looking back on his career, then, I mean, he came through the youth academy at Grasshoppers in Switzerland, moved to Empoli in 2019, initially on loan before signing permanently, and similarly Sassuolo on loan before signing a permanent deal there as well. And those two clubs, Grasshoppers, he played quite a fair bit, didn't he? And then the two Italian clubs, they sort of struggle in Serie A, don't they? So do you think a move to Rangers, where they will have most of the possession, like you say, will certainly benefit him because he will see more of the ball?
Yes, I think it's a perfect move for him. Also because Rangers play European football, which is something he really enjoys. He enjoys those big nights. He enjoys the derbies. He enjoys the old firms that are going to be played. I think it's played like 4 or 5 times a year on average, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
So that's going to be absolutely perfect for him, and he's going to be up for it, just like we see with Albania. Every time we have a big game against big oppositions, he scores crazy long shots, screamers, just like against Italy, where you don't really expect it, right? He's just ready for those types of moments. And overall, you can say he's a guy who he's not going to take that long to adapt. I think he's going to come and he's going to slot right into the starting 11 and demand the ball from his teammates, and try and create a lot of stuff out of nothing, even, because that's what a number 10 is supposed to do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, last season, his club, Sassuolo, never had the best of years. They were relegated to Serie B. How did he perform last season for his team?
To be completely honest with you, he had probably the worst season of his career in the previous season, because Sassuolo were They have been quite a stable Serie A club for the last couple of years. They have been troublesome for some of the big clubs like Juventus and Inter and Milan.
Yeah.
But last year they had a lot of financial problems, a lot of problems like internally, and ultimately it led to them failing completely as a club and conceding an enormous amount of goals, which meant they got relegated. He was on the bench for most of the season, and his only goal in Serie A last season was against Inter at the San Siro to hand them their only loss at the San Siro last year, which is just crazy to think about, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Why was he on the bench for much of it? Was it, did the manager just not fancy playing him? Did he have other options there?
Well, the manager was, they switched managers quite a lot. The first one fancied him. So that's why he played also a couple of months where he also scored against Inter. Then they switched up the manager because they were leaking goals. And the next manager coming in, he wanted to play more of a 4-3-3 with 2 defensive midfielders and then like a number 8 type, right? And then he didn't really slot into the team. He can track back. He's not bad at it. Of course, when you play in Italy, you have to do that. But that's not his role, and that's why he was not really preferred by that manager.
Yeah, of course, he's a big star for Albania, and that was a big coup for them because he represented Switzerland, didn't he, through the age groups? How was that a bit of a welcome bit of news when he elected Albania to represent on the international scene as opposed to Switzerland?
Well, it was like a saga, you could say, just like transfer saga. Yeah, it was crazy because when you support the Albanian national team, we have to sign players just like a club because we have so many Albanian people who live outside of Albania. In Albania, we are 3 million people, but in total, we are 20 million.
Yeah.
That means we have so many people outside. Some people, of course, feel a connection to the country they were born in and live in, and that's completely understandable. I also live in Denmark. I don't live in Albania. Personally, I care about Albania, but Nedim Bajrami is the same type of guy who never forgets where he's from, and thus we were very happy for him to finally join us after taking even the case to CAS, because they wouldn't allow him to switch allegiance due to him playing in a friendly game or something like that for the under-21s. He finally came, and it was very important for us also because we are such a defensive-minded team, and we needed that bright spark, that energy, that technical ability to really lead us forward. And you could clearly see as soon as he came in, we qualified for the Euros with him being one of our absolute biggest stars in the qualifying campaign.
Yeah, does the Albanian fans, I guess, that they really appreciate him then? Is he a big star in Albania? Do they love him?
I would say he is, if not the biggest star, he's one of the 3 biggest stars of the team. So 100%. His work ethic, his celebrations with the fans, his way of being, his humbleness, his professionalism, all these things really matter when you think about things as a fan. He always celebrates his goals by running out to the fans. He's not the type of guy to just celebrate by himself, right? He doesn't play for himself. He plays for the club, the national team. He plays for the people, and that's what people love.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing them running to the Rangers fans a lot this season, that's for sure. Lots of wee comments coming in. Stuart says, good to hear more about him, absolutely. And Dublin Bears says, agree 100%. Rangers need leaders. We need a captain too. James with the point as well. We definitely need someone to impact big games. Yeah, absolutely. In terms of leadership, is he someone that leads by example? Does he have leadership qualities?
Yes, I would definitely say he has leadership qualities. He is quite a humble guy, but he's very good with his teammates. He goes along very well with everyone in the team. I haven't heard a single thing about him being dissatisfied with a coach, with a member of staff, even though he has been benched sometimes, which doesn't really make sense. It didn't really make sense at the time, but you could say he was born in Switzerland, and he has that Swiss professionalism about him.
Yeah,
because of course, people from Albania, we are a bit, rebellious sometimes. We would like to play with our chest forward. But he was born in Switzerland, and you can tell, just like the Swiss national team, professional people that just care about getting their head down, working. And I think that is the best example of a leader you could actually have.
Yeah, it certainly seems like it would be a real good addition to the Rangers squad. €4 million was the fee for him. Do you think that's value for money?
For $1 million fee, I think is definitely a value for money. From what I can tell from the Rangers team, a couple of the players have been bought for a similar fee, like Diomande for $5 million and some other players like that. It is also not a cheap fee, of course not. So it's an investment that was made after careful consideration, I think, from the Rangers staff, and I think he's gonna justify that fee 100%.
Yeah. And how do you see him getting on at Rangers? Because it is a bit of a different scenario for him from a club, well, two clubs in Italy that are fighting against relegation, and now he's moving to a club with the expectation levels to win every single game and the pressure that comes with that. Of course, the pressure of trying to catch Celtic as well. But do you think this is something that he will revel in and enjoy?
I think he's generally going to do very well at the Rangers because of all the things we mentioned about the play style and how he's going to slot into the team. The only thing I'm very curious to see is how he keeps up with the Scottish football, which is quite physical in comparison to the Italian ones. It's very high paced, but I think that's actually going to suit him a lot better because he's the type of guy who likes to play that type of football too. So I think. When I think about it, I'm not going to try and praise him up to the sky already. Yeah. I just think it's such a good move for both the club and the player, and I just cannot see it going wrong.
Yeah, I hope you're right. Has he had any injury issues in the past? Because Rangers have had, they've been hamstrung with players being out long-term injured down the years, and even now there's players out injured. It seems to have been a bit of a curse at Ibrox with players getting injured long-term. How is Nedim with regards to his fitness levels and his injury history?
Well, to be completely honest with you, I was going to include it in the thread that I made, but he has had such minimal issues that I didn't even want to include it because one of his biggest strengths is also his availability. He's always available and he's always ready to go. Even when he plays, you don't see him playing at 50%. He always goes at 100%, and you see him sprinting around the field, and he's ready all the time. That's just very important for any player in any team, I think.
Yeah, your thread is absolutely fantastic. I'd urge you folks to go and check it out over on Twitter. It goes into Bajrami in great detail and some fantastic goals in there, like you said. He likes to take a free kick or two, doesn't he? So he's not afraid to take a shot from long distance.
No, he definitely isn't. I know you have James Tavernier, who he's also very good.
There's going to be a fight on his hands, I think, who's going to take the free kicks if he's on the park at the same time as him.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're going to let Tavernier keep taking the penalties, and then maybe Bajrami can take the free kick because he does have one hell of a strike on him, and he needs to unleash it as much as possible.
Yeah, most definitely. And in terms of the transfer for, the profile of Scottish football, do you reckon, in Rangers in Albania, do you think there'll be a lot more interest in Scottish football and Rangers with Nedim playing for the club?
Yes, I think 100% people are going to start watching the league even more. The Albanian broadcasting system is very interesting because we don't really have that many rights. We buy the games separately, but every time we have a player who plays for a club, they buy the games of that club. So I think they're going to buy a lot of broadcasting rights for Rangers games, and people are going to tune in 100%.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Well, that was brilliant. Thank you very much for giving us a bit of insight into Nedim. It's really good, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him in a Rangers jersey now. If people want to find out a wee bit more about the work that you do online, just head over to Twitter. Is that just Alb Football?
Yeah, exactly. And thank you very much for having me. It was my pleasure, and I'm always ready to talk about the Albanian football.
Yeah. Well, let's hope he has a successful time in Glasgow. Radian, that was fantastic. Thank you very much. Hopefully you enjoyed that, folks. A bit of insight into the deadline day signing Nedim Bajrami, the new Rangers number 10. Let's just hope he hits the ground running. Right, that'll do us there, and we'll speak to you a little later on. Bye for now.